Loso, what up, man?
What's up, my guy?
We here. I got a couple of questions for you. Let me know. Are you ready?
Hot seat, right? We in the hot seat.
We in the hot seat, man.
I'm here, bro.
First question. Do you remember the first time you actually got paid to battle? How much was it and what did you spend on it?
Okay. First time I got paid, I actually won a judge. Actually, it was my first battle ever. We ended up just betting $1,000, I think. Literally my first battle ever. And so technically end up getting paid that night. Then I go to bullpen and I also I win the $1,000. It might have been 1,500 that night, and I win that whole tournament. But the first time a league just paid me for my services where I didn't have to front any money up, John ends up paying me, I think my second or third battle. And man, I didn't buy anything with, I think he might have paid me $1,000, and I don't think I bought anything with the thousand. I think I just put it in the bank account like an adult would. You know what I'm saying? I put it in the bank account and just, pay some bills. So
Second question. What is battle rap politics? Can you give a clear example? And
yeah.
does it exist?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to give a clear example, but when the word politics comes out, um, it almost seems like there's an agenda, there's a hidden agenda to get certain battles um, out to the forefront to the fans, right? Not because they are asking for it, but because this is what's going to generate dollars. So actually, I can give an example, right? I'll be honest. Personally, I think Freeway versus Cassidy is a politic thing in the sense of, hey, we know, like, when I say we, the brand, battle rap, whoever's fronting the money behind it, we know that there's going to be extra people tuning in. We already have our fan base. They're going to tune in no matter what. We can literally put, Spider-Man versus whoever. Like, they're just going to go ahead and just watch. But because we're going to go ahead and get these stars, we know that mainstream is going to be tuned in. And so when politics, here's why it's called politics, is because battlers who are putting in the work, who are putting in the time, who are dedicating their craft and their own fun sometimes to get certain shots or to get on certain stages, they are now pushed to the side because it does not benefit the particular league. So when I say politics, it's not like we're not necessarily putting out the best product now. What are we putting out? We're putting out what sells. It's McDonald's. That's what it is. You're gonna go ahead and buy the Big Mac. You're not gonna want what's really beneficial for you. So
Insurance in battle rap, should that be implemented or you think that'll be too messy?
explain. What do you mean by insurance?
Covering battlers in case something happens to them on their watch at their events.
Oh man, I have never thought about that, right? But I would definitely like some benefits, you know what I'm saying? Like, because we're technically on salary, you know what I'm saying? We've been we're battling. I mean, we're not on salary, but we're working year round. Um, Unfortunately, battlers tend to put themselves in situations that can cause extracurricular issues outside of the league. Um, but I do think that to protect URL's brand, and then also for the battler too, I don't think I would be opposed to that, bro. For instance, let's say for the battler, bro, like, you got to think about it. My voice, that's this is everything for me. I lose my voice, I don't get paid. You know what I'm saying? If for some reason I lose my voice, I need to, and you got to think about it. I'm using my voice. I'm screaming from the top of my lungs on stage. I'm practicing on breath control, all that stuff. If for some reason I cannot utilize that anymore. I think there should be something in place to make sure that I'm at least good for another year. You know what I'm saying? Just something, some veterans pay. Can we go ahead and do that? You know what I'm saying? Like get the league minimum over here, bro, just while I'm out of commission for a minute. So yeah.
What will it take for the women to get a higher earning or an earning that is close to what the men get?
I think they need to battle more. And I just don't think that there's enough opportunities going around. And I don't know why, you know what I'm saying? Maybe because, you know, the people behind the scenes just don't have the resources or don't want to necessarily put their attention on putting on female events back to back. But then also, I think that women versus men need to happen more frequently and not just on the intergender cards. So I think we should be seeing Casey versus Jack Boy, not just at King and Queens, but hey, set up a storyline, create a storyline, set something up where we could go ahead and just see them at a Born Legacy or Gnome, whatever it is. So when we start seeing that, where they can view women as valuable on an everyday basis and not just a card that has a theme around men versus women or all women, that's when they'll be able to get paid. Until then, unfortunately, and this is not me, this is not my point of view, but the way that it's being branded, Ledge, it almost looks like every time the women come out, it's a gimmick battle. And I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like what we need to be pushing is like, yo, Casey is just as good as whoever. Jazz is just as good. Let Jazz go battle. I don't want to see Jazz and Geechee on the Kings and Queens. I want to see Jazz versus Geechee, at a Gnome. Like put that there. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what's up. And until that happens, until we can just all agree that like, yo, that's also acceptable. Unfortunately, women are gonna be, and I don't know what the women get paid, but unfortunately, it won't be the 50,000 that these other guys are getting. So, yeah.
Give me a time something was very serious going on with you while you were preparing material for a battle and you almost backed out or something, or you just was like, yeah, you know what, screw it.
Yeah. I would say early in my bullpen career, while I was preparing for XL, which at that point was my biggest battle because it was the biggest stage. It was going to be John and Daylight headlining, Kayshawn Sharon. You had Cortez, DNA, all those other guys on that card, and I'm opening up. This is my first debut to the world. In the midst of that, end up having a close friend pass away. And I want to say in the beginning of my career, Ledge, I had gave myself like, yo, I need to be done with my material like 3 weeks beforehand. That's an anomaly for me now. Like I need to get my material done like days before the event. But at that time, I remember just sitting back talking to my wife, and I was like, man, I don't think I could do this. I don't think mentally I was right, but almost backed out, did not back out, ended up getting it all together. But that was definitely a tough situation to push through.
Mm-hmm. Question: why isn't there more discussion on mental health and anxiety within the culture? And have you personally ever went through it in either of those cases?
Yeah, bro, this culture is not for it's not for the weak in the sense of how you portray yourself. Whenever a battler starts talking in a vulnerable state, bro, they're clowned on. They're clowned on. They're looked at as weak. This culture is all about bravado and masculinity and stuff like that. And so if you come out and say like, yo, I need help. I mean, that's why I'm grateful for guys like Holmesy, who's very public about his mental health issues. You know what I'm saying? The Saga, who has came out recently and been very public about his mental health issues. I know that battle rappers get a lot of flack for quote unquote being emotional, right? Like, oh, they just always respond on Twitter and they just always, but we're all human. You know what I'm saying? We're all human and we're not robots. And so we are we're pushed on stage and we're putting out our art to the world, and we are being criticized for material that we have been working on for months by people who have listened to it for 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And we're dealing with all of this stuff. And then we're dealing with stuff at home, like you said before, right? We have to deal with our family issues. We have to deal with work issues. We have to deal with whether it's real life or spiritual and mental issues. And coming out publicly with that would kind of hurt our chances from making money. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one wants to invest into somebody who's not quote unquote stable. And so I think that's a lot of times why people stay quiet. One, because they don't want the backlash from the fans. They don't want to get clowned, probably from their peers. And then two, they don't want to seem like a liability to the company that they're working with. And because this is, I mean, bro, it's a numbers game out here. Loso, you better be at the top of your game, because if you're not, I got another Latin dude who's waiting to go ahead and take your spot, and we have no problem investing into it. You know what I'm saying? There's only probably, I would say maybe about 7 guys in the culture who's probably not expendable. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else to the leagues, unfortunately, you are a number. We'll find more talent and we'll just push them through. So.
How prevalent and often is like medication and drugs in battle rap? I've heard about Adderall and things of that. Like how often do battlers deal with that?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I've been told. I mean, I guess like weed, right? Like I know there've been battlers who told me like, yo, I have to write high, just constantly out. Then I've heard battlers saying that they do take Adderall. You know what I'm saying? Because they just have to focus. They just have to push all nighters and stuff like that. And maybe they do. I mean, maybe they do have ADHD and they just need to go ahead and lock in. I don't necessarily know if there's anything else besides that, but and it's so crazy that you're asking me this question, because we were in Miami and Holmesy was coming out and was making a statement about the use of Adderall in battle rap. But from my understanding, I mean, I've never been prescribed it. I feel like I lose focus a lot. I definitely feel like I lose focus and have ADHD. But I think, I think if people need it, if they want to, I feel like it levels the playing field for them. It's not like, I mean, the Adderall pill isn't like a limitless pill, that opens your mind and it just has you writing, unbelievable stuff that you couldn't. I think it just helps you focus and sit down. And weed, from guys that I remember when I was in bullpen, I remember they told me, they were like, yo, we have to write high. I was like, hey, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? So, maybe some people, maybe the same as with alcohol. So I'm not necessarily sure how prevalent it is. Do I know some people who use it? Yes. Do I know some top tiers who use it? Yes. But I don't look at it as nothing else than just them trying to just focus. That's it.
Leagues having rivals or having competition going forward, is it healthy or hurtful for the culture moving forward?
It's always helpful. I don't care what no one says, bro. Competition is always great for the consumer. The fact that I have a T-Mobile and an AT&T and T and a Verizon makes T-Mobile step their game up. You know what I'm saying? I stay with T-Mobile. The fact that the Cheesecake Factory has to worry about Red Lobster and this, like it helps that particular brand. You know what I'm saying? Nike, Adidas, stuff like that. And in battle rap, the fact that RBE is throwing huge events and saying, all right, cool, we're going to book the Hitman and Cassidy battle. It makes URL step up and say, okay, we're going to call Drake. It makes KOT say, oh, you guys are doing UN1 and putting up 25, 50K. Cool, we're going to put up 100K. Like, it's great for the consumer and it's great for battlers. And I love it, even though it's toxic as hell sometimes, but we have to be honest, Ledge. This is the best thing that can happen in the sport, bro. Competition is always great for the consumer.